Patricia O'Connor, Frida Reba Darcy here, Bonsai balcony. We're at Frida's place tonight. We're not really balconying it yet, as it were. Tonight's show is a late afternoon show after our lights have gone down and we've cooled our jets a little bit. We are in between rounds of storms. They've been just running through here like buses at a bus stop. Which started earlier today. It's been cloudy and windy since yesterday, but today with a little caveat of rain. And we're supposed to be in and out of this for a couple of days. There's our little lady in waiting there. Today's show is going to be about tools. This is Patricia's Tool Time Challenge. I challenge my other Bonsai YouTube creators for this tool challenge. What I have is, I just was doing a quick look through. I was trying to get organized. A little short story long. I'm going to throw a sheet of plywood that I have sitting off to the side over the top of this table, increasing its dimensions before I throw a tree on there and repot it. So I thought that I would take this pile of mess, which is normally a nice looking, when I get it organized, it's better. I thought that I would find all my stuff, put everybody back close to where they came from. And when I started doing that, I was going, well, this isn't a bad looking lot of things. And then that's when it occurred to me. We're gonna do a little tool time show tonight. It's a challenge. Like I said earlier, it's a challenge. Before I get there, our seeds that we started preparing last night. Here's where we got. Our cups are filled or half filled with perlite. That pearl, she's light. And it's ready to go. Our 32 seeds have sank, save one. That one. The rest are resting comfortably down there on the bottom, which means I have to get those out. If not by tonight, by tomorrow night. I've got tonight or tomorrow night to do this correctly. And what correctly will be, just really right quick, I'll empty this jar out into a towel and let all the water drain off, leaving the seeds behind. And then I'll take one of these guys, do that, and then pluck a seed down in that hole, and then move on to the next one. And hopefully I won't get lost along the way, put two seeds in a hole, or have a seed stick to the thing and then get swung off in the tray somewhere without me realizing it. But we'll get 32 in there, and then that's how and then once I do that, I give it 1, 2, 3, 4 with actual water coming out. Then I move to the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All the way down. And once they get a little bit wet, they settle in, and I don't blow. And I won't worry about blowing the perlite around. It behaves. It will also float. So in that way, the misting is probably more helpful. But because of this light, I can only do like 2 rows. And then I give it one of those, and I go those 2 rows. So that's basically the last of it. I'm not going to do the seed poke on that would be long and dull. I was talking a little bit about my ratio, and I put on the dog sometimes, but here's what. Japanese black pine should sprout on the California coast. They are evolved in a climate along the coast. And if I go out on that ocean, right on the other, like say right over there is San Francisco. And on the other side of San Francisco is ocean again. And you just keep going out, and then you pass Hawaii, and then you just keep going a little farther, and you're in Japan. I surmise from what it looks like when I'm watching videos there that it looks like they have similar days. To me, it does. It looks like they have similar days than I do, weather-wise. So that is why I'm able to get Japanese black pine seeds to pop. But my method is tried and true, and it's also pretty basic and simple. I pop them in a jar of water. I don't use the old paper towel method, and then stuff's blowing in, and then I plant them within 48 hours, and then we just let them go misting them. Okay, now back to the tool challenge. A little quick look. Let's see. I could back up even a little bit still. I know this is exciting. I have in here. I have more like home tools, hammers, little big hammer. Good hammer is a Vaughn. My favorite hammers would be a Vaughn or a E-Swing. This is a kitchen hammer. Also have a stapler. What is my stapler? It's the one everybody uses. I forgot what is the name. What is these guys are? Arrow stapler. Yeah. If you're in a poster or you're a grip or you're a, everybody in the industries for years have always used arrows. Oh, this would be a bonsai tool. I've got some more bonsai tools in here. Also in here I have compounds, a router, my Makita, not my Makita, my Milwaukee Impact, sanding discs, shrink wrap, my pry bar. I have some pruners down there. You can see those red handles. I guess this should go over here. This is my comma. This is one of the saws that we have. Can I get that? Yeah, there we go. And then I have this little bamboo tray here, and it has, I skipped a part. Shooting equipment, chargers for my router, chargers also down here for my screw gun, and chargers for other things I've got. Camera equipment, beast grip equipment, which is what I use my iPhone. This is my Nikon. I don't break it out much anymore. 36 million pixel camera. It was what I used. It was what I used to shoot that stuff, the pictures around the house. They'll also mug you for that, and I'll also fight you back for that. So I don't take it. We don't go out that much like we used to. But all right, so that's the film equipment. That's the household equipment. That would still be bonsai equipment, I guess. Those woodworking tools. But then I've got screwdrivers, and I've got multi-cutters and multi-tools, and drill bits and adapters. They've got a million different asterisks or square lugs now. There's my sanding discs. Y'all seen those. Craftsman ratchet set and a wrench set down in there. So that's got us as far as most of the home stuff. Here in the tray, I've got, I love this. I've only played with it a little. My bonsai jack. I think that it's called a bonsai jack is cool, but I love that. My last tool purchase would have been in this big old root splitter. I forgot to see what it said on the package. Yeah, it has numbers, casting numbers on here. Casting numbers, and this was made by Crescent. So this is a good tool. It wasn't made as a bonsai tool. I saw that in the hardware store and went, yeah, you're coming home with me. That's a trunk splitter, but I don't think it was sold in my hardware store as a trunk splitter. It just occurred to me a little while ago. I never got your name. cool looking tool. I would say this is my last. This is one of my last acquisitions. Was this guy purchased at my hardware store that I work at in Oakland, and that's one of the challenges. There are to do this challenge B, you must answer these questions 3. 1. What was your last tool? What was the last tool you got? For me, it would be this guy, and I'm not really quite sure what to call it. And I'll have to look. But for me, that's a trunk splitter or a root splitter. And it stays with my comma. So yeah, what was your last tool? And then second question, what is your coolest tool? What is your coolest tool? And then the third question would be, what is your favorite tool? One could be, you could go, yeah, this is pretty cool, but I don't really use, but I have this, I love it, but I don't use it a lot, but it's really cool. And then there's maybe your favorite tool. And then actually a fourth thing, do you have a tool tip for us? Those are the 3 things for the challenge, and then the bonus is, do you have a tool tip to share? This came from the dumpster at the apartment, and I would say the odds are good that this was probably used more for a butcher than a hacksaw, just by the way it's made, but I don't really know. I was like, well, that's a nice saw. You can come home with me. Close in a category to coolest tool would probably, this is pretty close, but this isn't it for me. My Nip-X. These are just little bolt cutters, but they are badass bolt cutters. The action is really good, really easy. They're not hard to open and close. They are hella sharp, hella strong. And you look, all the heavy hitters that are always showing off their cool designs and their super expensive trees, they always have one of these in their back pocket. I'm not going to go naming any names, but just you say most of them. And nobody has a deal worked out with Nip-X as far as I know. They're all like, yeah, I wish. And then various and sundry, needle nose, tiny pliers, tiny channel locks made by the Channel Lock Corporation. Yeah, right. Yeah. I have a couple of grafting knives and have done 0 grafting. I will fix that. I will become a grafter before this is all done. This is a little grafting knife. It's really hard to open, especially if you keep it oiled and stuff like I like to do. I don't know how anybody else would open that. That little thing for your thumbnail, that would tear off a thumbnail with the amount of tension on that spring. So that's why I'm not whipping that out. Also, this is one of those little nifty Stinko Milwaukee box knife. Those are handy for doing stuff. This is probably my favorite. Very, very simple design. It's a black piece of steel. That's the color of the steel. The rest of it looks like that. It is sharp enough. It will cut you yesterday. I mean, like, yeah, you touched that, you started bleeding yesterday. That's how sharp that thing is. And the really cool grafted knives from Japan are like that. You don't get a handle, you don't get nothing. You get a piece of steel that's been treated exactly like they want their blades to be treated. And this one is left-handed because Pat the Southpaw, actually I'm ambidextrous dyslexic, but yeah. So that's my tray of tools. My first tool acquisitions were these guys. These are all Japanese tools. I have to take care of these tools because they are black steel. They would rust outside the way something that was blued steel, like a gun or something, would rust outside. My tip, so I'm not going to go with too many tips here because I use a couple of tool tips over and over again, and rather than use up your potential tool challenge tip. I'm just going to go with one that I've repeated over and over again. When it comes to the treatment, this was pretty dusty and nasty from just sitting out and not working for a couple of months. And I cleaned it today with my olive oil. That's my jar of olive oil. And the reason I use olive oil is it doesn't turn rancid on me, that I can tell. It seems to keep a long time, and it's food grade. So if the blades on one of these tools are done with olive oil, and I go cutting into something with it, I'm not gonna hurt it. Yeah, we're not gonna hurt it. So that's what's really great about that, and that's why I use olive oil for my tools. But I use Johnson's baby oil. Johnson's baby oil for the pots, but I don't use baby oil. Yeah, but I don't use baby oil for the tools. I don't know whether it's food grade or not. So that's got those. Incidentally, this show drew blood. When I was setting this back down in here, my little show-off trick with this, where I didn't fold it back up. This guy, not folding it back up and putting it away properly, caught me when I set that down. I caught it on the back of the knuckle there. Anyway, that's pretty light duty for going on 700-800 videos. I would have thought that I would have had some big gusher moment by now, especially playing with chainsaws. Which, okay, my coolest toy would be this. I enjoy the. I don't use this enough for it to be favorite. I mean, you have to, I don't use it enough for it to be favorite. That's just how that goes. But yeah, this is my steel chainsaw. We sell steel chainsaws. This is the baby chainsaw, but it's still a very it's a very, very potent little weapon. I have done good work with this. We've already had a couple of good times together working on these three, and they will get another date. They will get another date with Destiny with that. With my little steel chainsaw before that's all over with. So that's I would say that gets my vote as the most, my coolest tool. My coolest tool. So that's my tool tip. My coolest tool. And my favorite tool. Let's see. Favorite tool. Behold, weenie skewer. This is my favorite tool. It's lightweight. It doesn't do a lot of damage. It can help me get in there and take out that substrate and go in between the roots. I keep a light hold in my hand. A lot of times you say, this tool feels really good in the hand. When I'm raking out roots, I don't want something that feels overly good in the hand. I don't want something that's heavy or has a lot of momentum. That is satisfying to work with in a way, but also that momentum, I believe, with me in the way that I'm pointing at myself with the weenie skewer now. With me, I would tend to rip up more finer roots going through my chopstick, my stainless steel chopstick that was made by this guy. That has a certain amount of heft to it, and there is a certain amount of coolness to that. I think that would cause me to forget myself and tear up roots. And I've always thought that about that, and I haven't really changed. The opposite of that is my weenie skewer, and that is my favorite tool based on simplicity, no ego. They don't have to be charged, and I've used them to stake up trees. I've used them to keep me from overwatering, and I use them a lot whenever I'm potting or repotting something to clear out the roots, or just simply to mark the front of a tree when I'm making a decision as to what the front of my tree is. So yeah, that is my little 21-minute drop on tools for tool time. What is your favorite tool? What is the last tool that you got? What is the coolest tool that you have? And do you have a tool tip for the rest of us? Okay. Oh, what other thing while I have you here? Yeah. Boom. I know, I'm sorry I'm jostling y'all around so much. All right. 2.5 gallons of Boon Mix. Like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. This is our Wednesday day drop. We are just gonna take it easy. Go back in tomorrow like nothing happened. I've been organizing today. I also had a doctor's appointment today. So when I got home, most of my day was spent. This would be a good way to get started. I've been thinking about a little tool time challenge for me and the rest of you guys. And so that's kind of what led to this. Like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. Our next drop will be this weekend when I do 2 shows. One where we do a short show where we play with angles using blocks. Pat breaks out the blocks like she didn't progress past blocks and Tinker Toys. I didn't get past blocks and Tinker Toys. I still love blocks and Tinker Toys. We're gonna do that for one show, and then rake all of that. Once we have an idea about an angle and all that good stuff, we'll rake all that stuff aside, bring that tree in the house, take a sheet of plywood that I got. You can kind of see a piece of it tucking out there behind the shelf. I'll take that, put it on that table after I've vacated those tools, and we will break down a tree. That one right there. And I appreciate you. And Brita appreciates you. And with the weather coming up, it might be a perfect time to be indoors do a little repot. And thank you all so much for watching.